Welcome, ladies, to Club Helensvale for the first day of the finals of the 2023 World Championships. On our broadcast rink, we have the women's forwards final. Australia playing England. Christina Christic, Dawn Heyman, Lindsay Clark, and Chelsea Cottrell. For England, we have Sophie Tolchard, Jamie Lee Marshall, Lorraine Cooler, and Amy Farah. And on rink 21, we have our vision impaired mixed pairs final. South Africa versus Australia. We have May Homer, directed by Paul Homer. Herman Schultz, directed by Jeffrey Newcomb. And the Australian side, Jackie Hudson, directed by Rob Hudson. Jake Felberg, being directed by Cody Felberg. Good luck and let the championships begin.
Title, the World Championship. He's got it, great shot and hits the jack and changes everything dramatically. Cracking ball. She's got the weight, she's got the line. Here. He's hit it. She has won the gold medal in a pulsating final.
This is where legacies are made, and it is the first finals day of the 2023 World Bowls Championships from the Gold Coast. What a day we have in store. The first ever para gold medals to be awarded at the tournament, which is very exciting. Not to mention the fact that there are 7 gold medals to be decided this weekend, including 5 today and 3 on this rink. Val Furbo here with you for the clash between Australia and South Africa in the vision impaired mixed pairs final at the tournament. Very much looking forward to this one. The finalists of the multi-nations earlier this year, which was a prelude to this tournament. And joining me this morning are 2 world championships, royalty at this tournament, Brett Wilkie and Julie Keegan. Welcome.
Good morning, Val.
Good morning, Val.
Very much looking forward to this. Brett, obviously you've been here before. You're the only ever male gold medalist to win 2 gold medals for the Jackaroos. So that could change today. So you might have a new member of the club. But how does it feel for you coming back to the tournament when you know what's on the line and you've tasted the ultimate glory?
Yeah, it was amazing walking in here this morning at Club Helensvale. It's a magnificent setting with all the grandstands, the crowds rolling in. It's a glorious day and looking forward to some great bowls.
Certainly are. And Julie, you've won one before as well, 2008 in the 4s with Claire, Lindsay and Karen. Now, this must bring back so many special memories for you because the 4s are on the other green, but you know what's on the line today, and it must just, as Brett said, bring back some wonderful memories.
Oh, it definitely does, and it's just wonderful to be here, and the excitement for these guys being out there. They've done very well to get here to the finals, and it's just a very proud moment for all of them. And so there'll be a few nerves out there, and lots of excitement buzzing in the first few ends for them.
And here are the teams this morning. This is the clash of the titans in vision impaired bowls at the moment. And Herman Schultz at 63 years old. He's using the Henselite Dreamline XGs, as is May Homer at 65. Now, they won the Multi-Nations, as I said, this year together. May is an IBBA World Championships gold medalist from this year in B3, and 10 overall vision impaired world singles and pairs titles for Herman. So he's pretty handy, but Jake, we know what he can do. He's the 2018 Commonwealth Games gold medalist. He was very, very handy over there in Birmingham last year as well. Won the Multi-Nations silver medal this year, and also Australian Open vision impaired gold. He's won 7 of those, so he knows how to do it on the Gold Coast. Jackie Hudson herself hasn't been bowling for too long. She's picked up the sport when she retired. Made her debut only this year, guys, and look at what she's doing, Brett. It's an amazing achievement to be doing it within a year of donning the green and gold for the first time. Yeah, that's right. She won the IBBA World Championship at Tweed Heads in March this year, along with Jake. So yeah, they've gone very well. This pair played each other in the Multi-Nations final, so we've got a repeat here. So yeah, they're very experienced players, and looking forward to a great game. Certainly, and Julie, it's very interesting to see that, you know, you've got Jake at 29, Jackie at 72. It shows that it is a sport for all ages, isn't it? Yeah, most definitely. And, you know, hats off to Jackie just taking up the sport. You know, it's just a wonderful achievement for her to be here, and how exciting for her to be out there with her husband. Yeah, exactly. And it's the same with May Homer out there with her husband, Paul, and Jake Felberg out there with Cody, the director for Herman Schultz, Jeffrey Newcomb. So all 8 people on the green have had a wonderful part to play in this tournament, and very much looking forward to seeing how Jake goes in this final, because we know what he's done previously, and back on home soil, he's a Queenslander. You know, how much would that be playing on his mind, the fact that, you know, he's in his home state? He knows exactly what he can do here. He's won a major title here before, and history's on the line for him to become the first para bowler to win a Com Games and World Bowls Championships double. Yeah, it's very exciting. It's great to see this event included into the World Championships. And yeah, as you say, Jake's from the Gold Coast originally, now living up at Bargara near Bundaberg, but he has played here at Helensvale many times throughout the years in pennants and different events. So he'll know the environment, and looking forward to try and use that to his advantage. He will know the environment very, very well. And the format here, 15 ends, guys, and 3 bowl pairs. So that means that in the knockout stages anyway, we are untimed, and it also means that if the margin does get beyond 6 with an end to play, or mathematically impossible, we'll stop the match. So that's what happens in the knockout stages, where shots up don't matter. And of course, the para competition this year, Julie, there's going to be a new award. So we've had the Leonard Trophy, the Taylor Trophy. There'll be an award for the para team, which I think is just wonderful for the sport's inclusivity and what it is driving in terms of international sport, because there's a lot of sports where you don't get to see this. The para matches are being contested right up against the Open Women's Fours final. Yeah, most definitely. It's great to have them, you know, running side by side. You know, it's all inclusive, so it's very good for the sport of bowls itself. It is a sensational day here at Helensvale. Brett, green speeds, what do you reckon they'll be running at this morning? I think they are timed roughly around 14.5 when the international technical officials were out there earlier this morning. But as the morning goes on, the sun gets a bit higher, they will quicken up. They do a great job, the ITOs. And we're tipping they'll probably get to about 16 throughout the day. Yeah, we saw that during the week with the, we were here for men's pairs action earlier on in the week, and my word, they were flying. I think they had to take a 10-foot draw line or something like that. So if it does get to that speed, these combatants will have their work cut out for them. Of course, this is the first of 3 matches on this rink today. The para women's pairs between Scotland and New Zealand will be up next, and then after that, the men's triples final. Australia versus Scotland. They might not be playing directly against each other, but everyone loves the romanticism of a Sheriff versus Marshall final, don't they? Yeah, it's an exciting final. If you had to pick 2 teams, you probably would have went that way at the start of the tournament. They both had their little hiccups along the way, but they've made it through to the final, and looking forward to an amazing match. Now, these two, they met in the Multi-Nations final. As I said earlier this year, South Africa got the better of Australia, and then the South Africans got the better of them in the group stage as well. So what do you think Jake and Jackie will be thinking right now?
I think they've just got to go out with a positive mindset. You know, that what happened throughout the rounds and, you know, previous games, that's history. So they'll be just going out there, just, you know, playing their game, not worrying about what the South Africans are doing, and just put their best foot forward.
So very calm morning. The breeze is picking up a little bit, and what an amazing tournament it's been so far. And what are some of the highlights for the two of you from the first week? Obviously, it is nearly at its conclusion, but we'll start with you, Brett. What do you think, what's been the one for you? Obviously, the women's fours yesterday was pretty exciting.
Yeah, their finish yesterday, the Australian women were 6 down with 2 ends to play, got 2 threes. Very exciting finish. Everyone was on the edge of their seats and went to an extra end, and they were fortunate enough to get through that game. But I think, you know, this is the biggest world championships we've ever seen. We've got 44 countries, the inclusion of the para. It's just been one big festival. It's been an amazing atmosphere with all some of the new countries that are here that have never been to this championships before. And also, we're only halfway, so we've got another week to go, so which is great to see.
Exactly right. And Julie, what's been the eye-catching moment for you?
Well, definitely the fours. I think, you know, I arrived up there to watch the girls yesterday, and they were down 12-4, and apparently the Scots got out to a 12-0 lead, and 18-8 with 5 ends to go. The Aussies were up against it, and to get 2 threes on the last 2 ends, as Brett said, and some of the clutch bowls that Kelsey Cottrell played to force that extra end was absolutely amazing. And for me, like Christina Christick's been amazing. You know, she on that extra end, she just played the ultimate bowl. But probably pretty hard to go past that game with the men's triples against France. I think that was a cracker out there. They had everything, the weather and the marriage proposal and everything happening on the green. So that was pretty exciting, I think.
That was one of the more bizarre matches I think I've ever been in commentary for, out at Mudgery Bar, and what a great club that is out there. But just absolutely unreal. The French lead, Thomas Voyer, he was the man that ended up proposing to his girlfriend Kiki. She said yes, so that was confirmed. But he only just picked up a bowl for the first time last week.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it?
Up against Corey Wedlock, and there were times when he outled Wedlock, and it was just simply superb. And the conversion shots that they were making, they weren't afraid to attack the heads, were they? And I think that was the most impressive part, that they weren't overawed by the situation, which against an Australian lineup on the Gold Coast, that would be the most intimidating prospects.
Yeah, they weren't phased. They played some clutch bowls at the right time and kept themselves right in touch till the end, and it could have gone either way at the end, right down to the last bowl. So exciting finish. It
was. Now, these four combatants, how important are the directors for them out on the green? Because this is one that you rely so much on what your director is telling you and where they're telling you to bowl, and also the director of the skip up the other end also calling the heads and just making sure that everything is cohesive, because there's a lot of voices out there and all communication needs to be key.
Oh, it's very important. You just seen then the director having their foot helping them with their line. They also have numbers down the side of the green that give them the indication of the length. So the other end, Cody's down there at the moment, he'll tell them roughly where the jack is to what number, and they also know where it is in regards to the mat end. So they're always communicating both the line and also the distance.
They are, as the breeze picks up a little bit. How much of a factor is this going to play, Julie? Because those flags, they're almost upright.
Yes, it's just going to be, I think, a bit, swirly all day by the looks of it. It is definitely picking up, so I think you've just got to pick a good line and just trust it.
Certainly. Australia looking very promising already at home. They're in 5 finals already this weekend with a possibility of a 6th, as Ellen Ryan is out on green 1 playing against Taylor Bruce in the women's singles. Very much looking forward to seeing what she can do there as the skips come up for the final of the trial ends. Herman Schultz about to pick up a bowl. Jake and Cody Felberg make their way down. Of course, Jake was directed by his father, Grant, at the Commonwealth Games in 2018. Up until last year, Grant duly retired and Matthew Northcott went over to Birmingham with Jake, but now his brother Cody well and truly at the helm in the director's seat.
Yeah, they've got a very good bond. They play a lot of bowls together as well, both when they were at Burleigh Heads here on the Gold Coast and now up at Bargara. I know they were playing pennants at some stage earlier this year together, so they have a very good bond both on and off the green. So it's important. You know, the directors don't just help them on the green while they're here at the event. They're helping them throughout, you know, the night time, in the morning, everywhere they go. They're always there to support their player.
Certainly are. And Jackie Hudson took up bowls after she retired in later life, and to see her doing this, the emotion was well and truly there yesterday under her sunglasses. I was having a chat to her and you could see the tears in her eyes, and it was so wonderful to see, and she just appreciates the opportunity, doesn't she?
Yeah, just fantastic to see. You know, I'm just so happy for all of them out there. Just out there, they really, you can see they're enjoying themselves, and it's just fantastic.
They really are, and it's been a great vibe. The Gold Coast is that. We're lucky to get to see the Australian Open every year, and what that brings to the bowling world and the Festival of Bowls atmosphere, especially in Broadbeach in that last week. I think we had about crowds, I think 3 deep for those men's pairs quarterfinals, and you know, it was reminiscent of that yesterday with even more people. The grandstand was packed. Julie, you were there yesterday at Broadbeach, and talk to us about the atmosphere and what we can expect here at Club Helensvale today.
Yeah, it was really electric. You know, it was, you know, the people were yelling and cheering on. It was hard, you know, people were sort of vying for a spot, sort of pushing in to try and get in to see the last few ends of the game. So I think the crowd will definitely build as the day goes on here at Helensvale. So I think it's going to be a great atmosphere, and expect lots of noise.
We certainly will. Already a little bit of noise coming. We've got a pretty clear look across the entire green here with the women's fours final going on. Australia versus England there with the first of the gold medals to be decided. This one here. First up on ring 2. We've got 3 matches. We're the long rink today. We've got 3 matches that we're going to bring you, as I said off the top, as Jake Fehlberg steps to the mat for his final bowl of the trial ends. And, well, a big thank you to Queensland for putting this event together. Where would you rather be?
As we mentioned earlier, Julie, it was a glorious morning here on the Gold Coast at Club Helensvale, so we're looking forward to some great bowls.
Yeah, definitely are, Brad. You know, the sun's out. There is a little bit of a slight breeze, so that could play a little bit of factor as the day goes on. But, yeah, perfect conditions, really.
Yeah, it's 17 degrees here at the moment at Helensvale. We're expecting a top temperature of 22, so perfect conditions for the bowls. A little bit of breeze, but it's, you couldn't get much better conditions, really. The green's running nice, and it's going to be an amazing day. We'll now throw to Val to interview with the skips.
Thanks very much, guys. Very much looking forward to this contest. And first off, we've got Herman Schultz standing next to me, multi-nations gold medalist earlier on this year, Herman. And you've had a pretty good tournament so far. So how are things looking for you in terms of the confidence, and how you feel you'll go today?
Listen, we're not used to this kind of speed in South Africa, you know. I mean, we play on 12, 13 second greens, and maybe at the most 15, 16, and it's nothing compared to this. But we're confident. We're here, we've got to give it a try.
Very nice. Well, good luck.
Thanks.
And I've got Jake Fehlberg next to me as well. Jake, you've won a Commonwealth Games gold medal in this state, in this very city before. How confident are you in playing on these greens again? These are, you know, almost home greens for you at Helensvale. So how confident are you?
I'm quite confident. I'm going to be giving it my best. Been playing pretty good bowls, so it's all down to what we can do on the day.
And a couple of matches against South Africa already this year. That must make you confident you know their game and how they play. So, you know, have you taken much from your previous matches?
Yeah, we've had a couple of results go each way, so yeah, it should be a tight contest.
Set for a massive one today. This is the first ever Parrot gold medal to be decided at the World Bowls Championships. I could not be more excited.
as the players mentioned, they have done had a lot of battles over sort of earlier this year, both in March at Tweed Heads at the International Blind Bowlers World Championships, and then again at Multi-Nations. They both had a little bit of taste of victory, so yeah, they both know each other's games, but both won their fair share, so looking forward to another great battle today. So we're just starting the first end now. So with the women's fours is already underway, so you may have heard some clapping from different parts of the crowd, but we're now into our first bowls. Australian Jackie Hudson delivering her first bowl on the backhand now. Australia using blue and the South African team using red.
Sure are. Already good home early on from May Homer. Is there a superstition for you guys? If you had to pick, would you want to be using red or blue? I know athletes they have a certain preference when it comes to colour.
Well, the colours are fairly new into this now, so yeah, they probably would have only been using them in recent times. So sometimes if you win a certain game with a certain colour, you may lean towards that. But you know, really, you don't really want to have that sort of thing in your head. You just want to be out there concentrating on what you need to do, your process, and go through to try and play the best bowls you can.
More things to think about as we get a lot of atmosphere here. We've got the women's fours, as you said, Brett. Now, Julie, the first couple of ends in a final, they're so pivotal. You'd want to get on the board early. How important is it just to get that little foothold in the match? It doesn't matter how you get it, just to see a 1 next on your scorecard.
Yeah, I think if you can hit the ground running, it gives you a lot of confidence. You know, the first thing is, just pick your line, your weight will come. So these guys, they've all had pretty good line here on their bowls. So the first couple of ends, it's just sort of really settling into the pace of the game, and, what you're liking, what picking your side that you're preferring and everything like that.
Sometimes with the adrenaline you can be a little bit quick, like Jackie has been with this her first couple of bowls, so I think that's quite normal. But as Julie said, her line was good, so that'll come.
The good thing is at least she's quick, but she's on the green, so it gives Jake something to play to.
Yeah, well, it's a respot on the tee if there's a dead end, so always handy to have 1 or 2 bowls around the back.
Yep, makes it a bit more of a chess game, doesn't it? That killed end, the fact that you respot on the tee.
Yeah, and Jake has quite a good drive, so it's always a weapon that he's willing to use.
Yeah, it is a really impressive aspect of his game, and he's played a couple of really big ones this week. Was commentating the rink next door to him yesterday in the women's para-pairs semi-final between Australia and Scotland, and saw a couple of really big bowls from Jake Falberg. And just to get the confidence up, I think, just to be on target, and especially the fact that, the vision isn't there. He's relying a lot on Cody to tell him where to bowl, and the fact that he nails them so well, it's a credit to both him and Cody and directors previous.
Jake also uses a little device to help him see from one end to the other.
It works really well. We were trying it out in Birmingham last year.
You just see him now. They're using it, so it helps him see to the other end.
Is it like a binoculars, Brett, or what is it?
I think they call it a monocular. Yeah, so
okay.
It's a similar sort of thing, just with the one eye. So he'll reach for it again so he can watch his bowl finish.
What these athletes do is so impressive, and knowing my bowl's form, it's not great. And then you see these guys who are visually impaired, they just put them so close. They're absolutely wonderful for this sport. And Jake's such a great guy. He's very humble, very shy, but really, really, really funny when he wants to be as well. He's got a very cheeky personality, does Jake Falberg.
So you see Herman on the mat now playing the backhand. They're holding 2 at the moment, South Africa, so opportunity to make it 3.
Looking good this bowl here. That's a very good bowl, just in behind the head, perfect position.
Yeah, well, Jake was probably about 2.5 feet through with his first one, so just needs to drop a little bit of weight, narrow it up a little bit. still on the backhand.
And England take the first end and lead Australia 1-0.
So, in the multi-nations final earlier this year, it was May and Herman over Jake and Jackie, 21-7. So that was the score in the decider there. They've also met in the group stage here. Already fairly solid start for South Africa, getting a few around the head, but Australia, all of their bowls are passed, and you cannot undersell how important being past the jack can be early on, especially if that jack gets moved, and on these greens where they're so quick, Brett.
Yeah, well, Jake's only really got a draw shot at the moment, so there's no real target to run the jack back. So he wasn't too far out with his last one. Just needs to probably drop a foot to 18 inches of weight, just tighten it up a little bit. He did reduce it down to 2 with his last, so still got about 18 inches to draw the shot. The breeze is just blowing across there, that hand, so that backhand is a little bit tighter than the other one, but may have got enough for second shot, I think.
So the match that the pair played in the group stage this tournament, 13-7 in favour of the South Africans. So 7 the unlucky number for the Australians, it seems. They've lost 2-7 in both of the matches so far that they've met this year, but the final of the World Bowls Championships can play tricks on you.
Yeah, I think that'll be their first little goal in this match, to get past 7 and then go from there.
So, Herman Schultz.
Just deciding to change hands here. Jake's bowl finished in his line, so got the open draw on the forehand and played another great shot, so he's made 2.
Good start for the South Africans as we kick the bowls away. South Africa on the board first. And, well, that's the trivia question, guys. Which nation scored the very first shots in a para-discipline final at a World Bowls Championships? Well, there it is. Yeah. South Africa. Herman Schultz and May Homer.
It's their name in history.
It's quite awesome to see how inclusive this sport has become. And all of the teams, I think a lot of the other sports were jealous at the Commonwealth Games last year for how the Australian team travelled around as that Jackaroos family, and you guys have been part of that culture. You know, how wonderful is it? And we'll start with you, Brett. Just that Jackaroos family mentality.
Well, I know when I was involved, when we went to the Commonwealth Games, just being around the para players, it just gives you inspiration. As you said earlier, what they deal with, the different disabilities that they have, they get out there, they don't worry about it, and they play amazing bowls, and it's just an inspiration. So I know the Jackaroos all help them whenever they can and work together, train together, and enjoy each other's success, ups and downs together as well. So do everything as a team and a Jackaroos family.
And Julie, you've been part of it as well, and some of the players that you played with are still going, and you know, how wonderful is that culture, and is that why we see such longevity with so many of our players?
I think it is. It is like a second family when you're a part of the Jackaroos team, both on and off the green. They're very supportive in your personal life as well, and everything that you're doing, not just on the green. So I think that's a big thing that Australia does as a whole, as a nation with the bowls, and it's something that a lot of the other countries sort of look up to and want to aspire to.
It is, and we're playing to 15 ends here at Club Helensvale. Bit of a wayward one there from May Homer early. So Jackie Hudson trying to zone in and nail hers. Just a little bit far off, but it'll do for shot. Dare say the winner hasn't been played yet in this end.
Yeah, the wind's just blowing diagonally across the green, a little bit into their face. So as they're looking down the green from the left-hand side, the backhand that May's playing there will be a little bit wider, and they're pushing into the breeze a little bit as well. So they're just trying to find their way with their lines. So it may take them just a few ends just to work out where the lines are with the different sort of breeze that's sort of blowing up and down at the moment. It's not consistent.
And I think it's definitely changed since the trial ends, Brett. You know, the wind has sort of swapped around a little bit, so it will play tricks with their mind a little bit out there. So they've just sort of got to settle in and, like I said, pick a nice line, and you know, and the weight will come.
It was a very good correction there from May, so very good second shot.
Sensational from May Homer. How different are the conditions between Australia and South Africa? We heard Herman talk about that earlier on in the interview. So you guys have both had experience there. You know, what are the differences between the two countries?
The greens are slower over in South Africa. So Australia and New Zealand traditionally have a lot quicker greens than most other countries. So they have a lot coarser, thicker grass, runs a lot slower. They do have the synthetic surfaces that will run the quicker paces, but the majority of the grass greens are a lot slower, and the wind doesn't have as much effect on those slower surfaces. So with this being a finer, smoother, harder surface, the wind does come into play more often.
Another great bowl there by May.
Certainly winning the lead battle at the moment against Jackie, and 2 ends in, she looks very comfortable out there, does May Homer. Jackie and Rob Hudson. Jackie at 72 years old, the oldest member of our Jackaroo squad.
Yeah, it's great to see a husband and wife team working together.
How's this line coming through from Jackie Hudson? She does need it to get down.
The breeze just blew up there. You can see Cody's jumper there blowing a fair bit, so I just got hold of her bowl early there.
I think that bowl would have been quite good. It just that breeze, like Brett said, it's just, you know, really come up and held that out and just stopped it going into the head.
It is blowing an absolute gale almost out here. It just really picked up then. So just another factor for the bowlers to have to contend with, and you can kind of hear it in the effects mic there as well. It's sort of swirling around here at green 3.
She was a bit unfortunate there. I think it came up just after she let the bowl go.
Yeah.
So it's just the way it goes. You can't do much about it once it's left your hand.
Mother Nature can play tricks on you. Time for the skips to work their magic.
Just had the score ran the wrong way on the board, I think.
Yep.
Just trying to fix it up.
Yep. I think it said that. Oh, it's all horizontal, that's why. They're just confirming it. So the scoreboard, I think they are just going to confirm this, or is it all? No, it's all sorted now. So Herman Schultz looking to add more silverware to his illustrious trophy cabinet. 24 international medals.
Yeah, it's got quite an impressive resume, hasn't he?
Not bad at all. And a couple of IBBA world titles as well. That was earlier on this year. Brett, as you mentioned, at Club Tweed, what a great event that was.
Yeah, it's always a great event, but it's been here in Australia a few times, and there was another great event down at Tweed Heads, magnificent club down on the border.
Had the pleasure of seeing Club Tweed for the very first time at the indoors. Just since my time at BA, hadn't actually managed to get up there, but or get down there from here. But yeah, it's a wonderful club. It's a monster, isn't it? Just huge.
Yeah, it's very impressive, and with all their new renovations, it's just looking fantastic, the club.
It is. Jake Felberg. Opportunity for him to insert his presence on this match. 2-0 in favour of South Africa. First, well, it's 15 ends. Whoever is leading at the end of that is the winner, but unless we are tied, and in that case we go to an extra end, which we saw in the men's pairs quarterfinal yesterday between Malaysia and Wales, and the Australian women's fours match against Scotland. The Australian men's pairs in action today as well against Ireland. I reckon Gary Kelly would be pretty sick of seeing Aaron Wilson in a major final. And he wouldn't want to see you either, would he, Brett Wilkie?
Yeah, well, that's they played each other in the last final, so they're both magnificent effort from both those players to be in a world final and then 7 years later matching up against each other again. So it's going to be another great game.
It feels strange that 7 years later you're still the reigning world men's pairs champion.
Yeah, I just had a discussion with Karen Murphy earlier today. She said that your reign's come to an end. So with COVID, the extension of it's usually every 4 years, but drawn out to 7 years. So I've been lucky enough to be a 7-year current world champion.
And it'll never happen again. It'll never happen again. So you'll hold that record, don't you worry.
Hole here from Jake.
Jake Felberg, massive.
Yeah, he had a good sider with his first one and he's just corrected perfect.
It's always good to get that correction with your second one because it gives you a lot more confidence with your third. Herman Schultz going to try and rectify the situation with his last.
He's holding 2 seconds. He may opt to play a little bit of weight, maybe to try and dislodge the bowl.
Needs it to get down. He's not a mile away.
He was close to a little edge of that blue bowl. May have helped him out.
So Jake Felberg, opportunity to pop in a second here.
He gave it a good chance, Herman. He wasn't far away. Good weight.
That was the exact weight that he needed. Jake Felberg on the backhand now. Rinse and repeat. That's all he needs to pop in a second here. And
just needs to slip under this blue.
That's what he's done.
Fantastic shot from Jake.
Better than the last. Jake Felberg. That's 2 for Australia. And they level proceedings at 2 apiece. Great start to this contest. Val Febo, Julie Keegan and Brett Wilkie joining you from Club Helensvale for the very first para final at a World Bowls Championships. It's history, it's fantastic, and this sport continues to drive inclusivity, and it's 2 apiece after 2. Australia and South Africa, the 2 heavyweights of this field. Australia knocking out the Commonwealth Games champions in Scotland yesterday. Scotland had a monopoly on the para disciplines at the Com Games in Birmingham last year, winning all 3. Australia the victim in 2 of those finals, and Jake and Helen Boardman actually won more matches than Scotland last year at the Com Games. It's just the round robin format, and they lost in the semi-final.
Yeah, it's the way it can happen sometimes, but it all changes the game once you get through the rounds and then into the knockouts. So yeah, Jake and Jackie were fortunate enough to win 12-6 over Scotland in the semi-final yesterday. So yeah, it all starts the game once you get into the knockout stages.
It does. All of the permutations of the group stage, they are eradicated, and all you have to do is win. And the intensity, Julie, must drive up a notch when you get to the knockout stages.
Oh, definitely. You've just got to lift that little bit more. The extra little 1%ers are just going to make all the difference. Like we were saying earlier, nerves and excitement all plays a part. But normally after the first 2 or 3 ends out there, hopefully that all goes away. And a lovely start there from Jackie.
Brilliant. From the Fingal Bay products, just north of Newcastle. Jackie Hudson, what a story. And what a lovely lady. Absolutely wonderful human being, and just really relishing her opportunity here at the World Bowls Championships. Now, May Homer. What has she got in reply?
And she looks like she's playing the backhand as well. Both playing with the same bowl, so they can sort of get a bit of an idea of the line of each other's bowls. Should be very similar. Both using Henselite XGs.
XG has been the predominant bowl that I've seen being used at this tournament. That one right on the precipice of the ditch, but it has stayed up.
Yeah, definitely not wasted there.
No, and it was a good line too, wasn't it?
Very good.
And Jackie's weight was perfect for the first one, so Keep that same weight, just tighten it up a little bit.
The good thing is for Australia, they have knocked off the South Africans this year. I mentioned the final of the multi-nations and I mentioned the group stage here, but they beat them in the group stage of the multi-nations as well.
It's going to finish in a very good home there for Jackie.
Yep.
The wind's just not consistent at the moment. It blew up there quite strong before. Now it's quite pleasant at the moment. So
hopefully it stays that way. I like pleasant weather. I've had too much inclement weather this week for my liking after the lightning the other day at Mudgery Bar.
So May had a very good line with the first. Just needs to adjust her weight. About 5 feet. Still probably about 4 feet through that last one. Line wasn't too bad.
No, not at all. May home up from the Benoni Country Club in Pretoria or Johannesburg. Not too far away from Johannesburg at all. In the outskirts, suburbs of the city.
I've never been to South Africa. Have you been to South Africa?
No, I haven't been there, so it's hopefully one day I might be able to get there and have a look. Heard a lot of good stories. And
I've heard
and
Cape
that sort of
Town
thing
is
about it.
sensational. Love to go to one of the cricket test matches over there. The atmosphere looks sensational and hopefully can tie it in with some bowls. Maybe the next World Bowls Championships after Hong Kong, who knows?
Yeah, they've been a very strong bowls nation over the years. South Africa in Commonwealth Games and World Championships won their fair share of medals.
I think Glasgow 2014 comes to mind when they really lifted and they stormed home, I think, to top the medal tally or at least push Scotland for gold medals there on those heavy greens up in Glasgow.
Yeah, they went quite well in Delhi as well in the 2010 Commonwealth Games.
Yes, I remember that one. They knocked us out in the gold medal match there, South Africa.
We won't bring that up then.
You see a good shot there from May. Not quite the shot. Australia still holding one on the crossover.
That's a nice little win there for Jackie Hudson, considering May has won the lead battle in the first two ends, and Jackie to just walk up to the head and say, you know what, I've done my job here. It's up to you, Jake. How much of a confidence booster would that be for her?
Yeah,
She's got a smile on her face.
Little psychological battle early in the game.
Yeah, different change of length too for them. So, you know, I think that's working, and a bit of confidence there will be fantastic.
So this wind has just completely picked up again.
Yeah, it's my fault. I said it was dying off and now it's back.
The curse of the commentator. Gold Coast has been such an epicentre of bowls this year at the Australian Open, the multi-nations, and now the World Bowls Championships, the showpiece event of the sport.
Yeah, we also have the para events at the Australian Open, which have been growing as well as the Open events. They've both been growing in numbers, which is really good.
Jake Felberg, he's going to nestle in behind. So good home there. Oh, nice amount of bowls building behind the head here. And you're right, Brett. The para disciplines at the Australian Open that we broadcast to you on the live stream. It is absolutely sensational, and Jake Felberg has won 7 of them now, which is quite remarkable. So he's got a wealth of experience on these Gold Coast greens. He knows exactly what he's doing, having lived here and now playing at Bargara. What has Herman Schultz got? Just going to drop short. Good line.
Yeah, line was enough for the shot, just a touch of weight, probably about 3.5 feet.
So Australia lost their last couple of matches to South Africa, looking to rectify the situation and go home with a gold medal. Great to see Serena Bonnell and Cheryl Linfield watching on. They had a bit of a disappointing day yesterday with the women's women's para pairs semi-final, but they are always here to support their team. Great custodians of this Jackaroo 24/7 mentality and mantra.
Just overcorrected a little bit there, Jake. Tried to take a bit of weight off, just a little bit too much, but wasn't far away from trying a second shot.
Julie, if you're Herman, where are you going?
Herman, I think he's going to play forehand. He's just got to go past his bowl, where he may even look to come under that and sort of sit the blue bowl of Jackie's. He's just a little bit light on weight here.
He's going to drop short. Gets a little slide, yep. Still 1 to Australia. It's interesting you see the position where directors take, and you've got Jeffrey Newcomb in front of Herman Schultz here, and he gets his feet out of the way the last second, and I've not seen it yet, a bowl go into the director's feet, but you've got to be very quick on your reflexes, don't you? Because especially if it's a drive.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, different directors have different ways of doing things. I think it just depends on what the vision issues they have and what works best for the player.
Jake wanting to get another one in here. That bowl of Jackie's looking a bit vulnerable.
Well, he's close. He just slides underneath and lands on that red bowl of South Africa. So Herman Schultz with one more to come to try and rectify the situation. It's 1 to Australia currently, which would give them the lead. The first time in this match, but Herman Schultz, if he has anything to say about it.
Can afford to give it a good chance down there, promote his own short bowl, or like Julie said, sit the blue bowl out.
There's a little bit of weight there, more so than what we've seen.
I think that just came out the side of his hand a little bit, that one.
Yep. So 1 to Australia. They take the lead in this final. 3-2 after 3. Couple of multiples conceded early, but we're into the singles now, and a nice little start for Jake and Jackie to get themselves in front in this contest. Just that little psychological edge to say that you have had the lead. They've got a little foothold in this match, Julie, and they'd be feeling confident.
Yeah, that's good. Good early on to be able to just have that ascendancy, to be able to get on top of them and hope they can just continue this. It's been very tight bowls the last few ends.
Well, South Africa have had the upper hand throughout this event because they finished on top of their section with 4 wins, and the one loss beating Australia throughout their round games. Australia finished second with 2 wins, 2 losses, and a draw. So
that draw almost brought them unstuck, but they ended up getting through. And yeah, Scotland, I think, were the ones that knocked off the South Africans.
You see Jackie and Robert there having a big discussion. You've just got to have full trust in each other, haven't you?
100%. 100%.
You wouldn't want to have an argument the night before at home, would you?
Could you imagine that? Never go to bed angry as a director. They say that anyway, but certainly not. Or a brother's spat between Jake and Cody. Jackie a little bit underneath there. But Brett, you've played a World Bowls Championships on home soil in Adelaide 2012. We spoke about it as part of the 10-year anniversary at the end of last year. Winning a gold medal on home soil, how special is that?
Oh, it was very special. I know we were playing with Wayne Rudiger, who was in his hometown in Adelaide, and the hometown crowd really came out to support us, especially in that fours final. It was electric, and it just helps in knowing, you've got the full support and great backing of the crowd, and to do it on a home soil was amazing memories.
And then 4 years later, you did it in Christchurch with a man named Disco. He didn't get his shirt off that day, but are we expecting to see something from him today if he does do it again?
Yeah, well, it'd be great to see him go back-to-back today. He's had an amazing sort of run since then with Commonwealth Games and 2 Commonwealth Games since then. So it's great that we're back here at the World Championships, and he's back in the final, hoping to go back-to-back.
Would be quite remarkable. Be a 2-time Commonwealth Games champion and a 2-time world champion. Now, it's a pretty lonely club for you to be in, the only male Jackaroo to win 2 gold medals, Brett. So are you hoping to welcome one more of them into the club?
Oh, well, we're hoping to welcome a couple more today. So
Yes.
Aaron Sheriff has got an opportunity as well
Yep.
in the triples. So hopefully there's a few of us by the end of the day.
Fingers crossed, and even the end of the tournament as well. Right here, couple passed here or one passed for Jackie and one pass for May. South Africa holding sway at the moment. Australia holding sway on the scoreboard, 3-2. This one is going to drop underneath that front bowl of Jackie Hudson.
Yeah, just a bit longer length, this one, than what we played last time in this direction. Just throwing them both off at the moment.
How much of a tactic would this be for Australia, just to try and utilise those long lengths, Julie?
Yes, I think, you know, it's a good idea early on, and if it's just worked for you, I think you've got to replicate that. Jackie just looking for a bit of correction there, just sort of in between both her bowls, and she's not looking too bad here.
It's a good line. It needs to get down, and I reckon it will.
Great correction.
Jackie Hudson,
Great shot.
sensational. And it could be a couple of ends in a row if May Homer can't do anything about it. That Jackie Hudson has the better of her. Would be quite remarkable.
Last opportunity now for May on the forehand.
As the wind really picks up.
That wind really has plays havoc with your mind. Not a mile away here.
May Homer, I think it's just going to drop underneath. We had a perfect view of that arc of the bowl.
Yeah, I think she just felt that wind get up, and she bowled it a little bit tighter and quicker to allow for the wind, but it's just pushed through it.
So, Australia, as Jackie's bowl has just fallen. It's been sitting up for about 3 minutes, and all of a sudden it's gone down, so it'll be a lot harder to move.
An opportunity now for Jake to put the pressure on.
Yep. It's a really, really good opportunity, as you said, Brett, because to take a lead by a couple, if they can, goes a long way in the psychological battle. But South Africa were down 6-0 against England in the semi-final yesterday. Came back and stormed home. Did the Homer-Schultz combination.
Yeah, well, they've got a lot of experience, so those sort of things they would have been involved in before, so they'll have the confidence to come back.
They will.
Fantastic bowl by Jake, and a toucher.
And it falls into Jake Felberg, asserting his authority here. He wants this tournament. Won the Commonwealth Games gold at 24 years old.
That bowl does come very close to the feet of the director there. He just has to jump out of the way so quickly.
He's close here. Oh, what a great shot.
Herman Schultz, brilliantly done. Sits the bowl, nudges the jack, stays. And that's one.
Played perfect weight, just gave it a good chance to sit the bowl or trail of the jack. As we see a replay there of Jake Felberg's brilliant draw bowl.
It's no longer sitting there.
Yeah, well, I think Jake can play something similar to Herman here. Sit the bowl, trail a jack. Just needs to give that little bit of a chance.
Just going to come underneath. So he's got one more in the artillery here, Jake Felberg. Herman Schultz now, the man that wants to apply some pressure on this head.
Yeah, well, he needs to go back to the draw now. He's played the good conversion shot. Needs to give it a friend now.
In the women's fours, Kelsey Cottrell's just played a bomb. I'm not sure what the score is. Right here, Herman Schultz, he's not a mile away.
Needs to be careful.
Yep, oh, he's got it out towards May Homer's earlier bowl.
He's made two.
Yep. So just forcing another change of hand here, Julie, for Jake Felberg, and I like this. He's coming up to inspect the head with his brother Cody.
Yeah, that's good. Very good move from Jake. He's got a little bit more room to work with down there now, so he's just weighing up his options.
He's a little bit fortunate there. He's trailed the jack for 2 shots and put it in a pretty good position for himself, Herman, but he could have been unlucky there. If he back cut the jack, he could have nearly given Australia 2 shots. Yeah. So has made it better, but
you never know.
Could have gone foul as well.
We saw that yesterday in the women's para pairs. Happened to Serena Bonnell a couple of times where just some awry jack movement that she didn't want cost her and Cheryl Linfield dearly. They dropped a 4 early on, and from there on in it was pretty difficult. And then Scotland got a couple of nudges at the jack and it went right.
Yeah, it just changed the game.
So it's interesting here because Jake has had to play 3 sort of different shots, 3 different weights. And it's not easy when you continue to sort of pepper like that.
It's not easy to get to where they are because they've got to consider those front bowls up there on the forehand. Yep. So they can come around them and draw the shot, or he can change to the backhand. So I think at the moment it's what he's confident with what hand he believes he can play the best bowl.
Would you be just sticking to what he's been doing the last couple?
Well, the front bowls could play a part because it is playing a little bit tighter on that hand with the wind holding the bowls out, so there isn't a lot of turn there. So that may be what he's weighing up. He could play the backhand and just look to sort of promote his own or just slip past his own there with probably a couple of yards of weight.
Yeah, he's opted for the backhand.
So he's changing.
He's trying to draw, I think.
Jake Felberg, just quick. Good try.
Well, opportunity for Herman now. Got a little bit of room to make 3. He just needs exactly the same bowl, really. He's staying on the forehand.
Herman Schultz to make a 3rd and to really apply the pressure on the Australians here. He's not on a bad... Oh no, I thought it might have been coming around the way. It was just too quick. The line, not bad in the end. The weight just overdone. So to be 2 and South Africa retake the lead.
Yeah, well, we've seen some great bowls there from both teams that end. Sign of things to come.
Best end of the match so far. So we are 4 down, 11 to go. 2 to South Africa. Absolutely fantastic end there, Julie. South Africa really, bowl for bowl, it was great, and Herman Schultz was sensational.
Yes, he came out with the big one when it was definitely needed, and Australia were holding 2 very good shots there.
Very long length here. Matt right back, and Jack sitting right in front of us on the tee.
This will definitely be a tester, this one, because there's not a lot of room between the jack and the ditch, and with this wind and the pace, it could roll on.
Of course, a big thank you to all of our ITOs and volunteers and markers at these World Bowls Championships. It's been fantastic to have them all as part of our competition. A wonderful, tireless work that they do. They're here well before the players, and they're here well after them.
Yeah, they're here earlier this morning timing the green at different areas of the green. They did both rinks here and also in between, and then they go away and average the pace out. I believe it was 14.5 at that stage, but we'll be running a little bit quicker at the moment and speed up a little bit throughout the day.
So, Jackie Hudson just going past, but that is a very, very good home if it stays up, and it does.
Yeah, about 18 inches from the ditch.
Women's fours, they've played 4 ends as well.
England currently leading 4-2.
Yes, Kelsey Cottrell played a bomb to rectify the situation. It was 4-0 and they were down in the head, so that's the big roar that you heard before. Some great lineups across the finals of the World Bowls Championships in 2023 so far anyway. This one right here, Australia versus Ireland in the men's pairs final. New Zealand, Scotland para women's pairs coming up after this right here. And then men's triples, which the three of us have the privilege of sitting alongside. Wedlock, Sheriff and Healy against Foster, Oliver and Alex Marshall. That last guy, he goes all right.
Yeah, mouth-watering finish to the day. It's going to be an exciting game, that one.
Jackie Hudson going to get one in.
Speed looks very good.
Does. Needs to get down. And as she did
That's a wonderful bowl.
before, that is a wonderful bowl, but rinse and repeat. I think the last end in this direction, it was her bowl that ended up with as the shot. Brilliantly done from Jackie Hudson. As she did.
Jackie's first bowl's looking like a very good bowl now in the position that it's in, because I dare say that South Africa will be looking to sort of play a little bit of weight to this head. Not losing your bowl, but just trying to finish in good position if you miss.
Gone underneath, so an opportunity here for Jackie to put a stranglehold on this end for Australia. What has she got? As you see, the different style of the director, Robert, as opposed to Jeffrey Newcomb, doesn't stand directly in front of her, just puts his foot out to sort of indicate things. Moves his foot out quickly too, good reflexes. As the wind swirls, Jackie moves past. Will it stay up? No.
Wind just pushed her a little bit there, I think.
It's playing tricks on them out there. What was the key for you guys when conditions were like this in terms of the wind? How would you adapt?
I'd normally play the wider side because playing the tight side, you know, the wind does sort of play tricks with your bowls and holds them up on the bias. So, you know, if you've got something, you know, a windy conditions, let the wind sort of do the work, and just, you know, like I said, pick a nice line and just, you know, and wait, and then don't try and change too much. Just, you know, believe what you see.
I think it's not letting it get to you. If the bowl does go for a wander after you've let it go, there's not much you can do about it. So as long as you don't get too frustrated when those times happen.
I was talking with Barry Lester yesterday on the live stream, and never play a bowl angry. That's one of the keys for him, as Herman Schultz not a mile away, and I reckon he's got the shot. He has. Another brilliant bowl
perfect
by
weight
him.
there. He just had enough to rest off the bowl.
He's having a good game so far. He's the South African skip.
Yeah, he's played some clutched bowls so far under pressure, hasn't he?
Certainly has. Was down in the last end as well. 63 years old is Herman Schultz.
Well, Jake can just afford to give it a little bit of a chance here. He's got a couple of bowls waiting for the jack. If he can trail it back, he'll sit the bowl through.
Trying very hard here.
Another shot.
Absolutely brilliant bowl
Jake
from Jake
Felberg.
Felberg.
How good is that? And from 1 down, 3 up. Monumental.
Yeah, perfect weight. Just gave it that nice chance. Put into a pretty hard position too for Herman to get to. He's got to get around the front bowls if he's trying to draw on the backhand. Otherwise, he's got to get through his own bowls on the forehand through the gap.
Looks like he's shaping up on the backhand. Probably just got to add about a yard of weight to his last bowl. Similar sort of line. Just trying to probably cut back, get second shot. That's what you'd be aiming for.
Yeah, even second shot's good in this stage of the end. Not quite the weight, so he's still probably a metre short.
Might have, yeah, needed to just get a little bit more.
Still 3, I think.
So I did mention that Jake was looking to become the first player to do the Commonwealth and World double. Well, Herman Schultz actually is too. 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medalist in Glasgow in the mixed parasport pairs.
Had a good line there, Jake, just didn't quite have the weight. So Herman coming up to have a look at it now. It's always good in these sort of situations to come and have a look, see exactly what the layout of the head is.
Yep. Well, if he can't do anything here, the Australians will be taking the lead yet again, and with leaving Jake an opportunity to possibly put in a fourth. So this is a really good move from Herman Schultz.
Yes, well, sometimes those bowls that he's looking at there can look a lot closer from the other end than what they actually are, but there's actually probably about 4 feet, you know, to get second shot. And what he's indicating there is just draw around that bowl, try and get second shot.
Great camaraderie between Jake and Jackie there. Big high five as they trundle their way back down.
He wasn't a mile away with his his second bowl, Herman, so he probably needs about 3 feet of weight. Even a couple of feet might cut a few shots out, but 3 feet will get him the shot, Nelly. But as Julie said, even second shot, it's pretty good in this point of the end stage of the game.
Good that Jake's come down as well. He can have a look what he has to do after Herman plays his bowl.
So Herman Schultz to make a recovery. And 3 down. Jeffrey Newcomb does a little boogie and moves out of the way. What has Herman Schultz got here?
Come on, Herman, find it clean. Find it clean.
Got the jack, but
Jack.
moved it right towards Jake Felberg's. It does sit in the ditch though, so I reckon it sits as second. 1 and a measure indicated by our marker.
Yeah, it's very close for second shot.
So as you can see on the replay there, it's just gone into the belly of Jake Felberg's bowl at the back there. I think it was Jackie Hudson's.
Yeah, it was a great shot. If he got a little bit more of that, Jack, he was following it straight into the ditch. So he's a little bit of fortune there for the Australians.
So measure for 2. Not sure who I'm favouring more. Still might be 2 to the Australians, but...
I think I'm slightly favouring 2 to the Australians.
Yep. Our marker just looking over and shrugging her shoulders a little bit there, Vicky. So Jake Felberg, an opportunity to definitely make it 2. Possibly a 3rd here. This is a really big bowl in the context of this one. Almost a third of the way through.
His line was good with his last, so he just needs to correct his weight on the backhand again. These are always the important ones. When you've got the last bowl, you've got an opportunity to add. Can make a big difference at the end of the game.
Unfortunately for the Aussies, that's going to trundle into the ditch, so we are going to get a measure here. So one definitely to Australia. Is it a second though?
Always different when you've got to measure the bowl in the ditch, because you've got to measure up and over that ditch area.
Exactly. So it makes it a little bit longer, doesn't it?
Yes, it definitely does.
So I reckon that's why we could be seeing a 2 to the Australians, which would give them the lead back, but angles can be deceiving, as I have found out from doing a fair few of these games. I've gone the early crow and been completely and utterly wrong. Let's see.
You mentioned the ITOs earlier, Val. I think there's about 50 ITOs from all around the world that are here for this 2-week carnival.
It's unbelievable, isn't it? They do a great job. So that is 2. Australia. Sensational from Jake Felberg. A great effort from Herman Schultz to cut it down and almost draw the shot for himself and trail the jack into the ditch. Didn't do so. But Australia regain the ascendancy here. They lead at 5-4, and we're a third of the way through this contest here at Club Helensvale. Brett, this is your home club. What a club it is. This new roof in the centre of it on green 2. How good does that look? Yeah,
it's looking amazing at the moment, and a brand new green has just been laid, and the reports at the moment have all been really good. That the surface has come up a treat, so looking forward to getting the opportunity to play some bowls on that in the future.
So when do they expect that to be finished?
The green's already finished, but the clubhouse, they're looking at the end of the year, so I think they're having an opening following the World Championships. They'll be opening the green and start using it, but the actual clubhouse, double-storey clubhouse, will be a function room, and also a bowler's lounge will be sort of open around the end of the year.
How good does it look, though? You can see just the structure and how it's looking, and the roof, the canopy over that second green looks amazing. And it was all hollow when I was up here in June for the Australian Open, and it's all finished. It's gone up very quickly.
Quite a fair bit of dirt came out from that area. Max have done a great job of the roof.
Really have. Mac's great partner of Bowls Australia.
It doesn't seem to have had much effect on the other greens as yet, or does it create shadows in the afternoon?
A little bit, but I think it's been okay at the moment.
Yeah, I suppose that's something that you do have to think about. You know, shadows can have a different effect on the grass and how greens play at certain times of the day.
It affects the growing of it as well too at different times. So it'll just be interesting during the warmer months when the grass is growing. It doesn't grow quite so much at the moment, but a bit dormant during the winter.
That's a Nathan Rice problem.
Yeah, Nathan Rice, greenkeeper here at Club Helensvale. He's been here since 2002, so he's been a long-standing greener, probably one of the longest-serving staff members here at the club now, I think. So does a great job on the greens, along with Luke Wade, who's the head greenkeeper.
Still doing a great job on the greens by rolling them and also performing on them, Nathan Rice. Still a very, very handy bowler, the former Jackaroo, your former Australian teammate, Brett, as May Homer. It's one pretty close.
Yeah, great shot there from May.
So what have you made from this one so far? A third of the way through, Australia leading 5-4. They've started well. South Africa have been very, very good as well. What have you liked from both of them, Julie?
There's nothing in it. I just think there's been some telling bowls from both skips, you know, on a number of ends that, so, you know, had they have missed a couple of those conversion shots, you know, the score could be completely different. But as it stands, there's absolutely nothing in this game.
Great shot.
Jackie Hudson, the crowd certainly appreciating that one.
Just got a nice little edge there. It was going to be a good bowl anyway, but just guided her onto the jack. So. And got the jack a little bit further away from May's bowl, which worked out well for her as well.
Got the little slide off, did Jackie Hudson. Little stretch as well. It's great to see on the caps there, guys, the 30p. And they have a para number as well as the Open Jackaroos getting their number when they make their international debut. Para bowler number 30 is Jackie Hudson.
So Jake would be a very low number, would he?
I believe so. I think Jimmy Reynolds is I think he's number 6. He was very early on. Jake wouldn't be, we'll have a look when he comes down.
Come on, mate.
May Homer. Brilliantly done. Hasn't gone into the ditch. Stayed up. And May has gone along with it. Still plenty of room here for Jackie, though. Just a change of weight.
Probably looking at changing hands down here. I was just saying probably have to come down on the backhand.
More obstacles now in front. What a bowl from May Homer.
Opting to stay on the forehand. Just skim those front bowls.
In the women's fours, Australia have taken the lead 6-4. Lindsay Clark in her last tournament. Will she go home as a world champion? Jackie Hudson not a mile away here.
She's
Jackie Hudson. Jack, belly, ditch. And a little dance as well.
A little jig.
How good was that from Jackie Hudson?
Be unbeatable, that bowl. I think she's sitting right on it.
Yeah, a little bit fortunate. I don't think she was trying to do that, but yeah, came up with the trumps.
Better than short.
Yeah,
Exactly right.
A chance.
Give it a chance. And she hit it belly. And you can see the markers there on the ditch. Absolutely monumental.
Yeah, I don't think she can draw that. Their only way of getting shot would be probably to promote the toucher. May's second bowl, that toucher into the ditch, but not an easy feat trying to get it from a fairway up the green into the ditch. So I think she'll be just trying to get a good close second shot.
So this just makes things all the more difficult for South Africa because it'd have to be, as you said, almost hanging half off. But
For any of our non-bowlers watching, when the bowl touches the jack, they do get marked with a toucher, and those bowls can remain in the ditch. So if your bowl hasn't touched the jack before it goes into the ditch, it will be a dead bowl and removed from the ditch. So she just got to try and get as close to the edge of the green as she can without falling in.
which is not easy, but we do love a good exhibition of drawing to the ditch. We've seen it in a lot of big matches before. Let's see what May Homer and Herman Schultz can do, and if Jake Felberg can possibly add in some more.
It is quite an art drawing to the ditch. It's not an easy thing.
Certainly not, and you always get it when you're not trying to. So, the skips make the change. Jackie Hudson with the bowl of the match so far. Her second two bowls were absolutely magnificent. Sliding off and challenged by May Homer. But she says, anything you can do, I can do better. And the jig was even better.
Yeah, they both had a good tussle that end.
Amazing from Jackie Hudson. So, time for Jake Felberg and Cody to step up. Brothers in arms. Herman Schultz and Jeffrey Newcomb. Gold medal on the line.
You see a replay here from Jackie Hudson down on the forehand. Currently one down, looking to try and get a touch up. And what a shot. Trails the jack straight into the ditch and pretty well sat right on top. Jake Felberg now on the backhand, just trying to make it two. Just needs to stop, I think.
Is it going to stop? I think it is. It has.
Oh, what a shot.
There you go. Drawing to the ditch, specialist.
Absolutely magnificent. So Jake Felberg, he's gone very close. Now, what will Herman Schultz have to do? He's going to have to try and get rid of this bowl and maybe stay.
Yeah, the perfect bowl would be just to roll it in and stay yourself. So just to probably needs a foot to 2 foot of weight. Try and sit the bowl into the ditch and stay up yourself.
Good thing is he's going to have 3 goes at it. It's coming, but it's going to go into the ditch.
A bit wide, but a great attempt.
Lovely try, man.
His weight may have been enough to stay, but he would have needed to get it really full in the middle of the bowl.
Jake looking to add another one now. If he can add another one, that really puts the pressure on.
100%. Doesn't want to create too much of a target, though, so let's see what Jake Felberg can do. Tell you what, his weight might not be too bad.
Just needs to slip that bowl.
And I reckon that might do. Not sure. Now marker holds up 3. So he has got it in to count, but a bit of room for Herman Schultz, the 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medalist. His weight's all right. Herman Schultz.
It's good enough for 3rd shot, I think.
Yep.
So it's cut one out.
So Jake.
That's a good bowl from Herman, just cutting one out of the head.
And gives him knowledge on how to correct for his last. He's gotten better and better throughout this end for his 2 bowls. So Jake Felberg with number 3. Can he pop in a 3rd for Australia?
Very good line.
Jake Felberg. Does it stop? It does.
Amazing bowl.
It stopped right on top of his other one.
World-class bowling there from Jake Felberg. Magnificent pair.
A magician.
I would suggest we might see some weight here from Herman. You can't outdraw those 2 bowls.
It's saying how hard it is to draw to the ditch, and Jake's just made it look easy.
In these conditions, that's absolutely unbelievable.
And with limited vision. Just
Magnificent.
unbelievable. Jake Felberg, you start. So Herman Schultz needs to hit these. But I reckon he's on a pretty wide line and needs to get down. Does he have enough? Herman Schultz. That's going to pull up short. And not a bad effort.
Yeah, his line was good.
But Australia, well, we talked about that number 7. They've eclipsed it.
Yeah,
They
that was
lead
their
it.
first goal.
They lead it 8-4 after 6.
Truly amazing bowls there from Jake. So close to the ditch. Not an easy thing to do at any stage of the game, let alone playing in a final of the World Championships.
Well, we said how hard it was to draw to the ditch, and you're right, made it look so easy.
Australia will be just looking to consolidate on that good end. You want to, back it up.
Yeah, well, it's given him a little bit of a break now. 4-shot, puffer.
Next door, Australia and England, after being 4-0 down, the Aussies have scored 6 shots on the bounce. Lead at 6-4 after 6. Could we be in for the perfect morning, and could Lindsay Clark's fairy tale be complete? You two have had a lot to do with Linny over her career, and talk to us a little bit about her and what has made her such a superstar, not just on the green but off it.
Oh, Lindsay's just a person that you just cannot love. She's just, wonderful on and off the green. She's a very good friend of mine. And Brett's, she's just a wonderful person to be around, a great ambassador for Australia for many, many years, and her state of Queensland. She's just an inspiring person to play alongside and, having your team.
Yeah, she's always a pleasure to be around and play with, and she's now passing on her knowledge as the Pathways coach here in Queensland for working for Bowls Australia with all the new talent coming through. So really fortunate for those young ones coming through to have her guiding them along.
There is a hell of a lot of talent coming through, and Lindsay Clark, well, you wouldn't want anybody else as your coach. She's just such a bubbly personality, and I don't think I've ever seen her without a smile on her face. Just always positive, always energetic, and getting to know her through media commitments and the right line and all of that sort of stuff, and being on tour with her. She's absolutely brilliant, both on and off the green. Very dedicated to her craft. What a story it would be to see her go out with a third on green World Bowls Championship title to go with that of 2008 and 2012.
Yeah, I'm sure her teammates are all sort of wanting that for her as well. You know, they want to send her out on a high.
Gets the monkey off the back for next week as well. The fact that she's already got one, not relying on the triples to try and get it over the line.
Yeah, that's right. You know, she'd love to go to the double, but ideally one would be just fantastic.
And of course, the narrative's over there. Kelsey Cottrell took a year off from playing duties with her little one Ava, and Dawn Heyman in her maiden international major championship. Christina Christic, of course, we know what she does. She's an absolute star. Led beautifully yesterday.
Yeah, it's just a perfect combo they've got going over there. It's a, you know, all four of those girls over there are all skips, but the combination has just gelled perfectly.
After 7 ends, Australia leads 6 shots to 5.
So Jackie Hudson right here, though. She's having some sort of a match. She has lifted, and she's absolutely loving her time out there, which is exactly what you want to see. That little jig before just gives you a sign of who she is and the body language. She is relishing this opportunity.
Yeah, I think she just got through the nerves of the first sort of couple of ends, which can always be the case, but she's a perfect line this end, just a little bit quick.
Yeah, she's really settling in very, very well. You know, the last few ends, and you know, she's been had the dominance over the lead position.
Yeah, May there just overcorrecting. She was a little bit through with the first. Just tried to take that bit of weight off. Didn't quite make it, so it looks like it's still one shot to Australia.
What a beautiful day here in Queensland. Aside from the wind, there's not a cloud in the sky.
Yeah, it's perfect conditions here on the Gold Coast. It's just it's a great place to be up here in Queensland, the perfect host for the event.
Yeah, 19 degrees currently at the moment, expecting a top of 22.
Feels warmer than 19. Jackie Hudson. She is lifting even more.
She's put it into a perfect position. Just nice weighted bowl back to her own.
Early on, it was May Homer holding sway in this lead battle, but the front end pressure being well and truly applied by the Fingal Bay product of Jackie Hudson and her husband and director, Rob.
Perfect little trail there.
No real target either. You know, it's very hard for South Africa to get in here. They're probably just looking at trying to get a close bowl at the moment.
Yeah, she does have one at the back as well, May, so that's in a handy spot if they do happen to trail a jack. It's probably about 5-6 feet past at the moment. But yeah, as you say, Julie, I think they need one close, and then Herman will be looking to try and trail a jack back further with one of his 3 bowls.
Oh, he's played some great conversions, so I'd sort of back him in to be not too far away from doing it.
May Homer, what can she do? She's not a world away here. May Homer, is she going to drop underneath, or is she going to edge the jack? She is, and she's going to follow it.
That
3 down, 1 up.
Perfect bowl, perfect bowl.
Great bowls there from both the leads. She just hung up enough for shot. 3 down to 1 up. So he just turned just nicely enough to get the jack back.
Beautifully done from May Homer.
Jake just looking now whether he tries to play through their own blue bowls, trying to promote one of those or get an edge off Well, they do have an open draw on the forehand, but it does have a few options on the backhand if he gives it a chance. Through Jackie Hudson's bowls there.
After 3 very good bowls there from Jackie, but unfortunately they don't have a back bowl now with that trail.
Yeah, that's why I think he might just give it a chance down there on the backhand, promote one of their own bowls, or just get the edge, get the jack, sit the bowl. If he misses, he can just finish past in a good home if he has good weight.
Yes, I think definitely that's the best option. He's got a few things going for him on that hand. Oh, nice weight.
Not bad at all from Jake Felberg. Gets a little edge, but it goes too far. Rob Hudson saying that was good. Like the idea.
Yeah, he gave it every chance.
Yep, that's exactly what you alluded to, Brett. Just give it a chance, be in the area. He's got 2 more to correct and try and rectify the situation from that piece of May Homer brilliance.
Yeah, he's got a bowl pass now in a good position. Still got at least 2 seconds. So Herman will probably got about 3 feet to try and draw a second shot here. Open draw on the forehand.
So Herman just goes around the back. 6 ends played, 9 to go. Of course, if the margin extends beyond that 6 with an end to play, then we won't play that end. Ends are only played if it's mathematically possible for both teams to win.
He's going to play something similar weight here, just tighten it up a little bit. Play through their own again, or slip under and sit the shot bowl.
Jake Felberg just going to troll through to where that Herman Schultz bowl is. So they've got the tee, worst case scenario.
Real opportunity here for Herman to put the pressure on Jake. A multiple here would help keep them in touch.
Certainly would. They were down 6-0 against England yesterday in the semi-finals. Things were looking like the English might be on their way through to this deciding match, but the quality of Herman and May got themselves through.
Just overcorrected a little bit there, Herman, but it's probably given Jake something to think about, because it's sort of right in the area where he was looking to come through with his last bowl, so they may look to change hands and just draw the shot here. Sit or trail.
Opting to come and have a look.
Yeah,
Very
I think
good
it's
idea.
best.
Yep.
The angles have all changed now, so best to come and have a look, see what the options are, where the best percentages are.
He may still be able to slip under that bowl as a guide and land the shot bowl, but whatever you're feeling comfortable with, really.
Yeah, it's taken the option away of promoting their own bowl, unless he gets the red onto the blue, which is possible. I think it's, you know, it looks pretty good there on the forehand. Any toucher would make 2, but in saying that, like you say, Julie has played 2 bowls on the backhand, so he may be more confident playing down there. It's just finding that happy sort of medium between what you're confident in playing and what the head presents itself as the best option.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, he's got to play the perfect bowl between these bowls at the front on the backhand, but he has played both his bowls on that hand, so he may feel more comfortable doing that.
Looks like he's lining up on the backhand. Sneak under that last bowl of Herman's.
Almost doing it. Has he got a little result? No.
Just got a little bit too much of a rub off that front bowl.
Jeez, wasn't a bad effort, but
So far off the mark.
No. Stayed on that backhand like you alluded to, Brett and Julie.
A little bit finer slide off that bowl, and he had the angle right into take the bowl's place, but wasn't far away.
So still one to South Africa with Herman Schultz, an opportunity to get a second here and give South Africa some touching distance.
Yeah, just a draw shot. He's already played 2 bowls on the forehand, so he should have a fair idea of the line. Just needs to adjust his weight from the first 2.
He's got just over 2 feet to make another counter. He's probably looking at just beating that jack high bowl, and then you're not too far away.
Herman Schultz. They're 1 up, which on current score would get them to within 3. But if he adds in another, game on. Jeffrey Newcomb hops out the way. Herman Schultz. They want it to slow down. Paul Homer was telling it to slow down. It won't.
Had a good line, he did, but not quite the weight.
Well, in the end, it was May Homer after a bomb from Jackie Hudson that did the damage. Jake Felberg did his utmost to try and rectify the situation. Couldn't do so. And it's an 8-5 lead as we edge towards the halfway point of this contest. Australia lead it. Jake Felberg and Jackie Hudson with their directors Cody Felberg and Robert Hudson holding sway at the moment. But Herman Schultz and May Homer, as well as Paul Homer and Jeffrey Newcomb, they will fight until the very end.
Yeah, as you said earlier, a lot of experience with this South African team, so they won't be fazed by being a few shots down. They've been there before and bounced back, so they'll still be confident to work their way back into the game.
So the jack just being rolled out of bounds, so that means Australia gets to re-roll the jack and pick their length.
They do. So the first lost jack of the day. We usually like to count those as the days grow longer, because the greens do speed up a little bit. But Australia, they like the fact that they can control the length here. Wasn't much of a change to where the map was though, Julie.
No, just gone back slightly and probably just opt to go slightly longer. Australia seem to be scoring more on the longer ends. Must be their preferred length.
It's a big strength of the Australians to have these longer lengths that they can score on. It's all about feel, isn't it, and touch.
Yes, definitely, and it's just something that the Jackaroos train for all the time, you know, with their training drills. And, you know, they train with the maximum and minimum lengths all the time, and, you know, that's part of their drills that they do week on week.
So, May Homer. Played a ripper in the last end.
Doing the dash.
Now it's time for Jackie Hudson. What a beautiful morning. The wind has died down, and now that I say that, you watch, Julie. It's going to pick up again.
Yeah, it's always the case, isn't it? No,
Yeah.
It's actually, the temperature's beautiful now and the wind definitely has dropped, making the conditions a little bit easier for the players.
So, the backhand for Jackie Hudson.
Different hand for Jackie. She has been playing the forehand going down there, but has opted for a change with May's bowl possibly being in the way. See the score over there with the Australian ladies fours against England is now 6-all on 8 ends.
Very, very tight. Very tight. Both of these finals, 8-5 and 6-all. We are poised for a grandstand finish, and the grandstands will start packing as the day grows longer. Of course, Aaron Wilson and Aaron Tees up against Adam McEwen and Gary Kelly in the men's pairs final after the women's fours. After this, the para-women's pairs final between Scotland and New Zealand. And then men's triples between Australia and Scotland on this very rink at the end of the day's play.
It's a funny little thing, 3 Aarons in the Australian side, isn't it?
I know. Well, you'd have to change your name, wouldn't you? If
you want to make the team, maybe
exactly,
Aaron.
I might change my name. Doesn't matter how I spell it either, because there's 2 with a double A and then just Aaron Sheriff, just the one.
That's right.
So, it doesn't matter if your name's Aaron. You're going to be pretty good at bowls, it seems. But if your names are Corey and Carl, you've got a pretty good pedigree as well.
Exactly.
So Jackie just motoring along.
Pace of the green will be definitely quickening up now, and it will get quicker and quicker as the day goes on, drying out.
Certainly will, and the wind, as I said, has picked up, of course. So May Homer, she's holding sway in this end, really owned end number 7 with that bomb. She was down 3, went 1 up. The English contingent here, they're pretty vocal.
Yeah, the English are very vocal. Sitting directly behind the ring.
Felt a bit like the Australian team at the Com Games last year. It's that little pocket that was very, very loud.
The Australian supporters have had to spread their support here with 2 teams playing on the same green. Made it a little bit hard. Wind just pushing that bowl out. You can just see that last bowl of May's just going out of bounds. That's how strong the wind is at the moment. You can see the flags flying on top of the grandstand.
See Teresa Armitage, Lindsay's mum, walking around in full Australian kit. It's so good. One of the biggest supporters of the Aussie team.
Always a very vocal supporter.
She certainly is. Lovely lady. Is Teresa. Now, Jackie Hudson. Oh, as Barry Lester calls it, that's the boss.
Yes, that definitely is. That's a great correction there from Jackie.
So,
a little pat on the back there from husband.
Love it. But
let's look for the high fives on the way past here.
Come on. They kind of missed. It was half there, but I think all concentrated. It's not like they haven't been doing it the whole game. It's only just when we pointed out that it doesn't happen. But it's been the tail of the tape, really, the last 2 ends. May Homer with her last bowl, stole shot. Jackie Hudson with her last bowl now has stolen shots. So this lead battle is really interesting and intriguing because they keep going bowl for bowl and end for end.
Very good tussle.
What has the 2014 Commonwealth Games gold medalist got?
His weight's fairly good there.
So Australia will they'll see these next couple of ends as an opportunity now to put a stranglehold on this competition or on this match. After this, we've ticked over the halfway point. If Australia win it, they're going to lead it by at least 4. That'll give them the world of confidence as we round the bend into the second half of this match.
Yeah, that's right. A multiple here will give them a pretty good, handy lead.
Almost break it open. It's always that little psychological edge when you're leading at the halfway point, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Just coming in here nicely. Very good home as well. Cover and count. Just a handy spot in case the South African skip trails the jack there.
To the Aussies, Herman Schultz.
We had good weight with his first bowl, Herman, so just needs to correct his line. Same weight will put him in the area. Playing the forehand again. Mighty attempt. Finished in a pretty good home. Not too far out of it. Still 2 shots to the Australians though, so opportunity now for Jake Felberg. Similar sort of bowl to his last. Finish in a similar spot would be handy, otherwise if he drops a couple of feet, it would be even better.
So, Jake Felberg, big opportunity here to really apply some pressure. He puts in a third here. Don't think he's too happy with it though.
His body language shows that he could be a bit short.
Yep, and the line was, it was almost, well,
it's a great bowl.
I don't know why he turned his back. He wasn't happy at all,
Yeah,
but
it's a counter.
That's the second of the third of the 3, so.
Bit of a smile on his face now, I think he...
Yeah. He did not realise how well that got away, and I thought, hang on, no, this looks okay, and he's turned around and gone, nah, don't like it.
I think the wind died down as well, so if there was a bit of breeze, it may have pulled it up short, but...
All right, now Herman Schultz, this is a huge recovery bowl here. They're down 3. If he doesn't make it here, then, well, an opportunity for Jake Felberg to put in a 4th, and Herman, he's going past. Is he going to stay? No. Opportunity for the Aussies. Now this could be the straw that maybe breaks the camel's back. Who knows?
Oh, this is massive. This is the ones that you really want to count.
Yeah, he's already played 2 good shots, so just needs to replicate it again.
They're holding 3. This to
Got it
score
away
a
very nicely.
4. He's looking. The monocular is out. That famous trademark monocular. Jake Felberg. You can hear Alan Faulkner cheering from the sidelines. And Jake Felberg has put in the best of the lot.
3 rippers there from Jake.
4 to Australia.
That's a massive end in the scheme of the match here.
Lead battle won by Jackie Hudson. Lead determines who wins the end. The skipper by how much? 3 sensational bowls from Jake Felberg.
Yeah,
they lead by 7, Brett Wilkie.
Very consistent bowling there from Jake. 3 great shots. As you said, all set up by Jackie. Just had the shot on the crossover. Biggest margin of the game now, so it's...
And more importantly, it's above that 6-shot margin. So if they can maintain this lead, they might be done in earlier than 15 ends, who knows? Are we going to lose a jack? Yeah, that's gone into the ditch, so we'll get it re-rolled.
Yeah, the opposition just getting an opportunity to roll their length now. Those non-bowlers watching, they can now move the mat. They can put it in a different spot and then roll the jack to their liking. We've chosen to take it sort of a fair way back, nearly back to the end of the 2 metre mark.
2 ends in a row now that we've lost the jack. So bit of a collective groan on the rink next door with England and Australia. I think Kelsey's gone for a big drive. She's missed. I'm not sure what the score is. England score a 3 and take a 9-6 lead. Wow.
Yeah, after 9 ends over there at the moment, the women's fours. A lot of exciting heads happening there at the moment. A lot of tight, close, good bowling.
As women's fours, well, Lindsay said that she reckons she'd aged about 40 years in that women's fours semi-final against Scotland yesterday. I'm not sure how she'd be feeling now.
Oh, they know they can come from behind. They did it yesterday. I think that's the good part about the Aussie team. They don't ever give up without a fight.
They don't. Jackie just powering on, needs it to stay up. That'll go into the ditch.
Yeah, well, Jack's ended up nearly ditch to ditch here this end, so I think it's the longest end we've had for the game. We did have a fairly long end earlier, but I don't think it was quite this long, so it's probably a little bit different length for the teams to adjust to.
And the green does get a lot quicker there, doesn't it, Brett, behind the jack, from the jack where on the tee to the ditch, because it's where everybody's standing, so it's a lot firmer, the ground there, so it's a lot quicker than the rest of the green. So the bowls do run on.
Yeah, both leads just going into the ditch, just a bit longer length. They're pushing in a little bit too firm.
It's an intriguing battle here. Australia win another end, and it's panic stations for May and Herman.
Yeah, well, they really need to win this end to stay in touch.
What a monumental effort it was from Jake and Jackie in the last end to score a 4. All of the last 4 bowls were counters. And Jackie has made the correction here, but is she too short?
That bowl will run on.
No, it has run on, and, well, not far away. Great correction from Jackie Hudson.
A good tip for bowlers out there, when the green is quick and you know you're a little bit heavy going through all the time, it's getting quicker and quicker, is just aim that, don't look at the jack and bowl to the jack, is just aim that yard or two short of the jack and the bowl will just roll in. That's basically what Jackie's just done there.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of bowls outside that one. Good correction.
So, Herman Schultz and May Homer desperately need this end. What has May Homer got? The lead battle has been intriguing, that's for sure. Jackie Hudson holding sways. They've both got one to come.
Both been getting their line really well in this direction, you know, which is a good thing. So that's...
Yeah. Well, yeah, you look at those 2 bowls there, and even the ones that went into the ditch, they're pretty much on the centre line.
Jackie Hudson's last bowl on the backhand now, just caught a little bit short and wide. May force May Homer onto the forehand now, whether she
might be
changes.
in the way.
Yeah, it could be in a line. Could still just slip around that one, but
Just having that discussion out there between both of them.
yeah, on the forehand, the blue one's sort of in the road as well, so a little bit of traffic both hands really, so just need to navigate around.
Yep. Final bowl of the end coming for May Homer, this 9th end of 15. Australia lead by 7. 6 bowl, or 3 bowl pairs, 6 each for the teams. Untimed. Take as long as you need. World Bowls Championship gold medal up for grabs. The very first para gold that we're going to be awarding. She's not far away. Here is May Homer. Just drifts through, so she managed to navigate around, didn't she, there?
Yeah, she stayed on the green at the back there, probably 2 feet from the ditch, so it could be handy later for Herman.
We're going to see a change of hands here, and for Jake, or will he continue just to go where Jackie has been?
It looks like he has indicated that he could possibly be looking at that forehand coming down there. Hasn't played, I don't know whether he has played any bowls on that forehand coming down on that side.
Yeah, he wouldn't want to promote May Homer's front bowl there, so he needs to make sure he's got his line right.
Jackie a little bit frustrated with herself with that short bowl as she walked past it, but she still won the battle. But this ninth end still very well and truly up for grabs. Australia leading 12-5. It's the perfect scenario for them. They've lost 3 of their last 4 matches against this South African lineup.
Very good weight.
Yep, he doesn't want to promote this bowl like you said, Brett. He got it out to the side, so
probably good enough to count.
No harm done.
Yeah, he's opened it up for his next one now, so similar sort of bowl to that one will come in nice there.
Well, you said he wanted to get his line right. It was precariously close.
Pretty good attempt here from Herman on the backhand. Just needs to run.
That'll do.
Yeah, very good shot.
Herman Schultz flexing his muscles. Nicely played from the South African skip.
Herman's from the Pretoria Municipal Club, Pretoria, South Africa.
Sounds fancy. Good evening, or be very early in the morning in South Africa. To those who are watching on and watching your Chargers go head-to-head for a World Bowls Championships gold medal, Jake Felberg sends his down. He doesn't want to promote Herman's. Well, has he counted?
Just fallen out, I think.
Yeah, Rob Hudson was about to put up the finger, but
then it fell out.
Yeah, then it fell out, and then he gave a little sigh. So I reckon it might just be 1 to South Africa at the moment, with Jake having 1 to come, Herman 2.
It's 2:17 a.m. at the moment in South Africa.
There you go. So if you are watching, credit to you for staying up, and good morning. Hopefully the coffee is ready. We've still got a fair bit to play here. Having said that, I haven't had my morning coffee yet, so I'm probably due after this.
Just dropped his weight a little bit there, Herman. They really need to score a multiple here to get back in touch with the Australians.
So definitely 1 to South Africa here, confirmed by our marker, Vicky.
He's just indicating that they have 2 seconds, possibly.
Yeah, we might see a bit of aggression here from Jake. Try and go for the bowl. Firm weight on the forehand. Could even play it on the backhand if he wishes.
If he gets it, he won't clear all the bowls out in terms of all the seconds that Australia has. So they're studying, surveying.
May Homer has the best back bowl, so if he
Yeah,
happens to hit it onto the jack,
that's the risk there.
South Africa will still have the shot. He would just need to make sure that front bowl goes all the way to the ditch if it gets through the jack. It'll just give Herman more room to draw another one, that's all. But maybe in this context of the game, good lead, leading 12-5, might be best to just try and draw the shot. Don't want to give Herman any more room to draw another one for a multiple. So
exactly. Multiples are not what the Aussies want to concede right now. If they do concede, they want it to be in singles and make South Africa peg leads back as little as they can. Just constantly have bowls in the area.
Jake just talking to his coach. I think Claire Turley is the rink coach here today for the Australian team. Former Australian representative in her own right.
Yep, won a world championship with the lady sitting to our right in 2008.
He's going for it.
Big weight. You alluded to it, Brett Wilkie. What's he got? A result. Ooh, has he?
Oh, he nearly got lucky, but yeah, he was offline to what he was after.
I thought that blue ball was going to stop rolling because it got very close to the jack, but it's one red at the moment, so Herman now comes up. Wasn't far away.
Well, it has created an option now for the South African team. They could look to play aggressive themselves if they're willing to take a risk. Yeah.
Well, they're holding one, so... Because if they sit both of those bowls out, then that's a 4.
There is one bowl.
It'd be 4, potentially 5 if he stays, but there is there's a fairly big gap between those two bowls, so I think percentages, he's probably best to just try and draw another one, I think, but the option is there if they wish to take it, but I would be tipping that he'll just try and draw another shot. He's holding one. If it was the last end and you needed that full count of 5,
you'd be going
for it.
Straight for it. But damage limitations, because if you do knock one of those Australian bowls, then that could be worst case scenario. So Herman Schultz is on a pretty good line. Is it going to get there? Yep, that'll do.
Lovely goal.
Or will it? It has fallen out here.
Drop out.
So are we going to get a measure for a second here? Now having a look.
Macy, a measure. Yes.
Yep, umpire coming out. Okay. So are we measuring for the shot or for second here? Might be measuring just for one.
Oh, I think they'll measure all round. Go to the blue bowl first.
Yep.
And go to the 2 reds.
So it's the blue of the Australians. Now to the first red of Herman Schultz. That's clearly in. And now for the second. Is this a multiple for South Africa? Certainly is. So that's exactly what the doctor ordered for May Homer and Herman Schultz. It's a 12-7 lead in favour of Australia's Jackie Hudson and Jake Felberg. Still a long way to go for the South Africans to peg this lead back, but a multiple is handy.
Yeah, 2 great shots there from Herman. Just hung on enough there. Weight was perfect. 2 shots keeps them within touch. But still, as you say, still a 5-shot lead to the Australians. After 9 ends, 6 ends to play. In the rink next door, we see the England girls 10-6 at the moment over Australia after 10 ends.
Playing well. They led 4-0. Australia got that to 6-4, and now